What's going on? This is Martone, owner and trainer of Fuller Fitness, doing some. It's a back workout today, and the video is dumbbell rows. I have 140 pounds on here today. My original plan was to do 3 or 4 sets of one, because I thought that was going to be uh, heavy enough to where I might only be able to do 1 rep, or it might just be better to do 1 rep with good form. 1 rep with good form, and I just thought that was going to be the way to go today. But when I did the first set, that wasn't the first set. When I did the first set, it just felt like I should do more than one, and I did. So there you go. That's the interesting thing about trying to move a certain load and trying to be smart about it. To move a certain load, to have an idea of how many times you might be able to do it. Sometimes you do less, sometimes you might be able to do a few more. I don't know if it'll ever get to the point where you do a lot more. I guess that depends on how much time goes by before you do it again. So that is the second set. I didn't record the first one, at least not as far as this. So try to relax a bit, feeling good, a little better than I thought actually. My original plan was 135 pounds to do dumbbell rows, and then all of a sudden, because I knew I was doing less reps, instead of trying to do 4 or anywhere between 4 and 6 reps like I originally was going to do before this week, knowing that I was going to go fairly heavy, likely heavy is pretty much as heavy as I can, and try to do at least 2 this week. So that led to, it was like, well, I know I should be able to do 130 for probably 4 reps. So it's like, if I'm gonna go really heavy to where I might only be able to do 2, I might as well go up. And that's how I ended up with 140. Now, if I would have did 145 or 150, then I probably could have and should have done 1 set of 1, or excuse me, multiple sets of 1. But at 140, I should be able to do multiple sets of 2, and this will be the 3rd set. Shoot, these feel so good. I might do a 4th set, just because they, feel really good, and I like them. So I might actually do a 4th set. But the goal is to, again, and a lot of people would say, certain people, a lot of people would say that you should do a certain number of sets, a certain number of reps, depending on how many of my videos any of you have seen, especially over the last 3 years, almost 3 years. Do what works for you. I think I spent years doing just 1 set, or excuse me, just doing 2 sets. But depending on how you do your warm-up sets, If you just do one set, that's not bad either, depending on how you set up your stuff beforehand. So, I'm not going to go into full detail to make it to where this video isn't extra long, if long at all. But do what works for you. A certain number of sets, a certain number of reps, moving a certain load, but making sure you don't rush in between sets. So that's another thing, as far as those of us that are trying to lift fairly heavy, very heavy, especially with some of the stuff I'm thinking about doing with my chest presses and shoulder presses, using these dumbbells that don't have the overhang that these dumbbells have, to where I can properly do the chest presses and shoulder presses without the extra effort to get the dumbbell up and stuff like that. So sometime within the next 1 to 4 weeks, to get some different plates that aren't as big, some 1-inch plates, to where I can fit them on those dumbbells I just picked up, and see how different that is to do certain exercises with a certain amount of weight compared to using the bigger Olympic plates, taking up more space. And it's interesting what equipment you use to try to achieve a certain goal, a certain equipment that you use, certain plates, certain bars, certain dumbbells, and in order for you to try to achieve a certain goal. So because I whether some people know about it or not, actually I have them on here now, to have these big ass 35-pound plates on to do certain exercises. And with rows, it's not as bad. But when you're trying to do chest presses and shoulder presses and you have them on, for some reason they just feel so different in terms of trying to press it up and get a certain range of motion, and just to do it. I've always had issues. I've done it, but I've had, it's more of a challenge, which I don't mind, but it just seems like trying to do certain things, and the main issue of me not being as successful with the range of motion and the being able to move certain loads at all, seems to be mainly because of these plates being so damn big. I don't know if it's messing with me mentally or whatever it is. So again, for me to get 1-inch 25-pound plates, and maybe even 1-inch 35-pound plates if they're available, because I saw 1-inch 50-pound plates. So if they have 35s, but at the same time try to stick with 25s and put more 25s on, and then be able to move a certain load, especially for the chest presses and shoulder presses. So another thing about this video, when you're doing your rows, is hopefully for those of us who have ever done lawn care, to not yank it as if you're the same way you would do your lawn, your I can't remember the lawnmower. So I believe a lot of people probably, when they turn it on, probably do a twist when they do it, compared to just doing it just like you would with the dumbbells, like I'm doing now, to not do all this extra stuff, especially for those who have a certain amount of back pain. There's a strong possibility that the reason you have certain back pain is all this extra stuff that you're doing with lawns, probably with your rows, and some other stuff you might be doing. So that's another thing for me, and I've been saying it for over a decade, if not longer, when it comes to doing rows, for people to not do all that extra stuff. I felt doing those today felt much better than I thought they would. So I'm very happy with that. The previous goal was to do just that, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and do pull-ups too. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do my pull-ups as well. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do my pull-ups also. So hopefully that doesn't take long. Try to chillax for a bit and go ahead and jump up there and get my pull-ups in. Which is interesting because I actually thought about doing pull-ups first today, which is interesting because I think I used to do that in my early 30s. I think I used to do pull-ups first at different angles, and I think I would do anywhere between 1 and 2 sets at different angles and then go do whatever afterwards, which was likely likely rows or some form of rows. But especially seeing that the gym that I was going to when I worked out at the gym, the heaviest dumbbells were 100 pounds. Actually, they did have 120s. Now, I've actually told some of you the story about that gym having 120s due to a guy who bought 120s at home, brought them to the gym, and then after a certain point decided to leave them. So I'm not going to tell that story again because I think I've told that story a few times over the years. And I just told that story last week, depending on if any of you saw my videos. I forgot how many videos I did, which wasn't that many, but some of the videos I did last week, I told that story. And hopefully it'll be a while before I tell that story again. So, with pull-ups, I think my plan is to do shoulder width pull-ups, and I think I'm either going to do multiple sets of 2 or multiple sets of 3. Let's see. Alright, so see if I do 1 more of those or 2 more of those, depending on how good it feels, because I think I did 4 sets of rows, so if I would have did 1 less set, I might be better off here, but I think I might just do 2 of those and then see if I do wide grip. I probably should have did wide grip first, but my original plan was to do wide grip lat pull downs with a bar, but I think I'll do 1 more set of those and then come out and do wide grip pull-ups there, and I'm feeling really good, so hopefully I'm good to go. I don't feel tired, I don't feel rushed. I'm really excited about trying to get certain things done within the next few weeks, as far as my strength at going on 40 years old, my strength, certain equipment, and just stuff that I plan on doing for the business that I have. So, alright, so 1 more set there, and then see if I can do at least 1 good set of wide grip. right. So try to chillax for a bit, and then see if I can do wide grip for 1, 2, or 3 reps. I guess I'm gonna say 2, and to actually do it this way compared to I usually do wide grip this way. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and same with the pull-ups I just did, but to do pull-ups with the pronated grip. So that's the bit to do your workout, and try not to rush in between sets, and that shouldn't be a big deal, seeing that there are so many people for decades who have been doing too many sets, trying to do 3 or more sets for every exercise, and to not only do so many sets, the fact that people are doing so many exercises. Depending, and almost regardless of why you're doing it, it's not a good idea. If you're doing it because you feel like you have to get all these exercises in, I'm gonna make this suggestion, which I've said in some previous videos. So instead of trying to do everything in one day, this week you do what, 4 or 5 exercises, 3, 4, or 5 exercises. Or do like with this, I'm doing the same thing, pull-ups with different hand positions or different angles. So, but I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to change the weight. My weight doesn't change. So I don't have to go anywhere. So 2 sets here, 2 sets here. And then if I grab my bar again and do neutral grip pull-ups. So again, I'm in the same spot. I don't have to move around. So that's the good thing about being at home. But even if I was at the gym, it's a strong possibility I could possibly do the same thing, especially if I was to go to the gym at 5 a.m. So, but even in the afternoon, there's a possibility I could get all my stuff in and done because people aren't there as much in the afternoon. I could be wrong. I haven't worked out in the gym in years. Not that I regret it. All right, but yeah, not rushing in between sets, making sure you give your time to breathe, and that also depends on how heavy you're actually trying to lift. So if you're not trying to lift that heavy and you want to take less time in between sets, go for it, I guess. But for those of us who actually want to lift kind of heavy, I'm not sure how much I weigh, but I weigh enough to where I don't want to rush and try to speed up I used to, but to not rush just to try to get all these sets in, especially for the making it less likely that I hurt myself. Trying to do these pull-ups, trying to do the workout, trying to do a certain number of sets, a certain number of reps. I usually don't do a lot of reps anyway, with the goal that I have, but at times to give my body a break from trying to lift so heavy as often, especially going on 40 this year, depending on when certain people see this video, to take more time in between sets, closer to 3 minutes. I try not to, but to go closer to 3 minutes so that I can lift as heavy as I want, get the 1, 2, or 3 sets in that I'm trying to do, just 2 today. Man, and just focus on yourself. You know, even though I'm recording this video, I'm focused on what I can do. If I try to do the wide grip pull-ups and it seems like I shouldn't do it, or try to do a different hand position, that's what I'll do, and I would do that even if I wasn't recording. So do what works for you, and hopefully you actually enjoy what you're doing. And then even if for whatever reason you don't enjoy it, if you know how much it benefits you to do it, keep doing it and try different stuff. 1 week, 3 to 4 exercises. The next week, a different 3 to 4 exercises. So you have two opportunity or what? Yeah, two opportunities per month to get better, especially if you keep going every month per year doing these exercises to where you have, even though it's only twice per month, getting better per year, you know. So, you know, again, do what works for you. If you feel like doing less, hopefully not doing more, but if for some reason you think that works for you, what the hell? I got a piece of my bench mentioned that I didn't notice before. Huh. Interesting. Unless I noticed and didn't care as much when I saw. Let's see. Alright. So I don't remember the highest number of pull-ups I've ever done. I don't know if I've ever done 4. I don't know if I've ever done more than 4. I doubt it. But I think that might be my goal the next time I do these, whenever that might be, is to just do one set of however many I can do. I might do it with some of the other angles as well. One set of however many I can do, unless I do it different per week. But what was that, 2? So to try to chillax for a bit and do one more set of 2, maybe 3. And then I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna use the bar and do neutral grip pull-ups, or if I do what I used to do and just put my hands inside like I used to do when I was in high school and college, and see if I can do those. I remember those used to feel really good, even though I think that might have been one of the reasons I had issues with my elbow, but I think I did different pull-ups when I had issues with my elbow. But try to chillax and then do one more set, wide grip, and then I'm gonna see. Nope, I don't think I should do that. At least not at that angle. So I will actually use the neutral grip bar again. I don't know. I'm actually tempted to do that. But more tempted to do that now. So, all right. So, go ahead and get this last wide grip pull up in, and then do some form of neutral, whether I do it like this, like I used to, or actually use the bar that you would do a lat pull down on, but actually use it to do pull-ups again. Like, because some of you have seen me do that before, specifically on a short. All right. So that is that. So now to figure out how I'm going to get my neutral stuff in. So either I use this, which is likely, or I actually put my hands in here and do it like that for the first time in who knows how long. So difficult time deciding, but I think I'm gonna just go ahead and do this. Watch out there now. Chillax for a bit. Do 2 sets of those. And we should be good to go for the workout. If you liked the video, real decent on time too. So if you like the video, please give it a like, subscribe, so that you can be more aware of future videos, especially with the heavy loads I plan on moving this year. Hopefully certain things I end up doing for the first time, which I've done many times over the last 3 years. On here, which many of you have been able to see, for those who have been seeing my stuff for the last 3 years. So give the video a like, subscribe, and then if you actually know of people that are interested in stuff like this, to actually share it with whoever who might actually like stuff like that, especially young people. I definitely would have loved to seen stuff like this growing up. So not knowing what was possible back then and when I was growing up, compared to so many possibilities now, depending on what I might be blessed to do. So in fact, that was one of the reasons I did so many sets with the rows that I did, because you know, when I was in my 20s, I don't think I had any idea that I would ever be able to do dumbbell rows with 140 pounds. Some people can't do that with 2 hands when they do barbell rows, or the cable row, with whatever, whether it's this or whichever that they use to do seated rows. Some people can't do 140 with 2 hands. So for those of us that can do it with 1 for however many sets, however many reps. And then the fact that for some reason, once people get to a certain age, there's a belief that some of us won't be able to do that anymore. But I'm going on 40, and obviously you can see I can still do it. So, and I'm a 40-year-old, almost 40-year-old vegan. Been vegan for 5 years. So, you know, do what works for you, regardless of what people say about what you should eat, what you should drink, how much sleep you should get. If there are certain things that you're doing that seems to work for you, do that. So like I said, you know, hopefully you like the video at least a little bit, and you subscribe, press the like button, and maybe even share it with people who might be interested. Yes, many of you have seen me do more than that, but have seen me do more than that, but including last week. But you know, it's just to get the pull-ups in, do a second set, possibly a third set, and then if I decide to do standing lat pull downs, which I haven't done in weeks. So if I do it, but if I do standing lat pull downs, it's if I do it at all, it's likely I'm not recording that, just so that the video isn't as long. If I change my mind, great, but if I do standing lat pull downs, I'm probably not recording that portion of the video. So like I said, depending on how many sets you're doing, how many reps you're doing, try to take at least 90 seconds between, preferably 2 minutes. And then depending on how heavy you're lifting and your current age, possibly closer to 3 minutes in between sets. likely the younger ones are the ones who are trying to rush in between, and it might be working right now, but that's the good thing. And to a certain degree, that's the interesting thing about life, on how things change, whether and that's regardless of if you plan for it or not. The fact that everything changes at least a little bit, depending on how long many of us are blessed to live, on how things change and possibly changing for the better. But this is awesome. I'm feeling much better than I thought I would, and I think part of it is the fact that I went to bed so early last night. Went to bed so early, and then even when a certain time period went by and it seems like I couldn't go back to sleep, when I got up to put ice in the bags that I have, because I take ice baths for those who do certain things to recover. I actually take ice baths. So I got up to put some ice in bags, went back to bed, and it seemed like it was taking a bit to go back to sleep. But thankfully I wasn't in a rush to get up and do anything, because it was still late/early. So like I said, do what works for you, but I definitely hope you're doing what you can to actually get a certain number of hours of sleep, preferably anywhere between 7 and 9 hours, and not waiting until, especially if you're trying to be great at something. If you're trying to be great at something, to be healthy and to be great at certain things, making sure you get your sleep in is very important, regardless of what your current age is. Very important. And I've been doing it for most of my life, and I'm going on 40. Trying to get my sleep in. That's been very important to me. And then now I'm taking ice baths, which helps me get a certain amount of sleep because of what it does to my body to help me recover from soreness and swelling, and instead of having me wide awake like people would think, it actually helps many of us sleep. So ice baths helps us in so many ways for those of us who can handle doing that. Alright, so I'm gonna do one more of those. And thankfully, with all this stuff that I've done, and then once I get some more stuff due to issues that I had last year, to where I had to sell certain things. So depending on how many of my videos you've seen, this is not the power rack that I had last year or the year before that. I sold that one due to financial issues I was having. So, now that I'm not doing as bad as I was, went and got this power rack, which takes up a little less room. Yeah, it takes up less room because the other one would have taken up so much more room. And since I currently don't live by myself, never have, so hopefully I can make changes with that to where I can live by myself for the first time. Move into a townhome or something to where I actually have, or unless I build a house. So depending on what I am blessed to do as far as that, moving into a townhome on my own, or having a house built. Not a big one though. I don't believe in having big stuff. Seeing that I'm not really around people that much, which is why I don't have as many issues as other people have, not being around other people. My dog and my cat get my attention, and that's it. So just my one dog, my one cat, my babies get my attention. Other than that, that's it. And hopefully you guys do your part to stretch afterwards. In fact, I'm going to show you right before to end this to show you one of my favorite stretches, especially on back day, chest day. I think I feel motivated to do this stretch on shoulder day as well. So one of my favorite stretches, the movement and the stretch is simple, but you have to, it's similar to pull-ups. You have to be able to hold your body weight to do it. So it's just putting your hands in a certain position, and then you just hang from the bar and you just stretch the muscles that you just worked. So I usually try to do it for at least 40 seconds. After a back day, after a chest day, tomorrow's chest day, depending on when you see this, shoulder day on Thursdays. So wide grip is my preference, but I have done other hand positions as well. And I try to do 30 seconds. Ooh. So, depending on your ability, that's it. Just jump up there, or however it is you get up there to the bar, and whether you're at the gym, at home, a fitness center near where you live, or whatever. So, get this stuff in and done. I got this stuff in and done in less than 55 minutes. I am literally done, except for the stuff I will do for abs. But literally done with my workout. You pretty much saw all of it actually. And again, I got it in and done in less than an hour. So depending on what you're doing and why you're doing it, you can get it in and done in less than an hour, even with lifting heavy. And if not, for those who think they don't have the time, it's your fault. Depending on how many sets you're doing, how much time you take in between sets, how many exercises you're doing to try to complete your workout. If you feel like you can't get it in and done within a certain period of time, and the excuse is because of trying to lift heavy and have to do an unnecessary number of warm-up sets and whatever it is, but I'm been vegan for 5 years, going on 40 in a few months, not even half, less than 4 months from now, depending on when certain people see this video, so that's the good thing about getting older, to where you realize how to do stuff better and smarter, not just harder, and possibly not harder at all. After so many years, decades of knowing what to maneuver and do and not do, and who and what not to waste time on. So You can get it in and done as long as you're not trying to impress others or doing more than you actually need to do, possibly doing more than you want to do just because you read somewhere or heard somewhere that you should do a certain number of sets, a certain number of reps, especially for younger people who do so much more, so many more sets and reps and all this other stuff. So do what works for you, whether you're young or not, or you're around my age, whatever it is. If it works for you, great. If not, obviously make changes as needed. And then if you are actually someone who wants help on your journey in terms of increasing your strength and or trying to figure out how to get your workout in and done without it taking a long period of time, depending on what a long time is for you, I will put information at the bottom so that if you want to hire me for online personal training for at least 90 days. Otherwise, send me a direct message on Instagram at Fuller Fitness BNY. I'll try to remember to put that information at the bottom of the video as well. And let's be great. Let's do what we can to be able to, especially for me, to help you become stronger faster without taking drugs or anything like that, but faster just in terms of learning things sooner than I did, and being able to live your best life without struggling as much as I did. So, again, if you're interested in help, to send me a direct message on Instagram or with the one of the links I'm going to put at the bottom to hire me for their 30 days, at least 30 days, to help you get to a certain goal within a certain period of time and without rushing to do it. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. This is Martin, owner and trainer of Fuller Fitness. Take care.